Okay, here we go. First thing you want to do is you want to list all of your expenses. Obviously, you have different expenses than what I listed here. I don't know what your expenses are, but most people have rent, electricity, water, garbage, yada, yada, yada. Now, you want to break everything down into a monthly cost. That's kind of easy because your rent's paid once a month, your electric bill's paid once a month, garbage, water, TV, internet, phone, those are all paid once a month. Your car payment, once a month. So you want common units. You want once a month. Now your food budget, once a month, maybe it's say $200, but you may buy food once a week. So if you budget $200 for the month, you want to divide the $200 by 4, so that is your food budget. You expect to spend $50 a month on food, and you travel on down. Now again, so you take rent. Now the thing about rent is you also have mortgage, and with mortgage comes property taxes, and that's a whole complicated system. I would rely upon an expert to explain it to you. Moving right along, you have fixed expenses that you can't negotiate. Your rent's always going to be here, your electricity is pretty much always going to be here, water, garbage, so on and so on. I mean, if you buy a pool, obviously your water bill is going to go up. But that's where you want to anticipate, your water going up. That's where you do math on your water bill and things like that. If you get into an accident, obviously your insurance is going to go up. If you buy a better car, obviously your registration is going to go up. If you end up taking a bus, obviously this won't be set to 0, and everything like that. Now, the one big thing about keeping a budget is that there are costs that vary. Now, the place you will bleed tons of money is in your recreation category. This is where you just kind of like use a debit card everywhere you go. You see something, you purchase it, use a debit card. It's sort of like a death by 1,000 cuts. You want to make sure that you don't go over any kind of budget when you set aside your recreation. I set it at $150 because honestly, you'll be shocked at how much you spend in an entire week on just Starbucks and anything else you see that's shiny. Obviously, what you want to make sure is that you don't want to outspend your income. So whatever paycheck you get, you don't want this whole total to be larger than your paycheck. Now, you don't necessarily have to save for investment and savings. It's always a goal, but sometimes you can't reach that goal. Sometimes it's too expensive to live with a car, so you have $380, $120. So that adds up to $500. You can save yourself $500 a month if you eliminate your car and invest in public transportation per month. If you have to save, you have to save, and that's what you do. You want to make sure that your expenses don't outweigh your net income. And your net income is your income after taxes. Now, here's a strategy I've employed, and at my income, I've saved a tremendous amount of money per month. I was hemorrhaging money, just spending it on shiny stuff, and this is what I did. I set up jars initially, but then my wife and I transitioned over to envelopes. So what we do is our mortgage is non-negotiable, our electric bill is pretty consistent, water bill is consistent, garbage is consistent. That's probably one of the more consistent utilities. Food isn't really consistent because sometimes, you forget to thaw chicken, so you have to go out for the night. We don't really have like a clothing budget. We sort of put that into extra, but if you have a job where you need to maintain a certain dress code, it may be wise to keep a clothing budget. Phone doesn't really move, TV, all these things, a lot of them, some of them are fixed and some of them are variable. So the variables are food and recreation. We also have a separate budget where we get $20 a week in our pocket for extraneous spending. So that would be like our recreation. So what you want to do is you want to sample how much you're spending on food. So you walk into the store, you walk in with cash. So you walk in with, say, $50, you walk in with $100. You buy your groceries for the week, plan out your meals, buy your groceries for the week. This is what you're going to stick to, and you'll end up saving that money. So every month you put $400 in an envelope, but let's say at the end of the month you're left with $50. That next month you put $350 in. Now, another tip is when you keep a budget, keep a budget in Excel or something like that, always round up. I mean, if your water bill is $47, make it $50, okay? If your rent is $889, usually it's a round number, but, whatever, make it $900. If your electric bill is, $88, make it $100. And, what ends up happening is by rounding up, you end up with extra money at the end of the month, and you can tuck that away in savings. So maybe you tuck $50 away in savings, and that always adds up. Same thing with investments. Now, personal care is going to vary between men and women because women like to wear makeup and, whatever your lifestyle choice is. Usually women spend more money. Same thing, women oftentimes have longer hair, so the water bill may be a little bit longer because they take longer in the shower. And then all the personal skincare, usually that takes place in the shower as well, so you can expect a little bit of a higher water bill and maybe a little bit of higher electric bill. But where you can really hemorrhage money is that recreation. So as a challenge, I challenge you to keep all of your receipt from your purchases for an entire week and multiply by 4, and that number will shock you. Another thing you want to do is if you plan on big purchases. Now, a big purchase isn't necessarily registration. Let's keep it simple, just for the sake of the video. If you anticipate your registration being $120, 12 months in a year, you set it down as 10. By the time your registration rolls around, you just withdraw it from savings and you pay for it right there. So these are just a few tips in keeping a budget. I probably forgot some stuff, but this is stuff that I use, and it's worked pretty well. I save about $900 a month. All right, thanks for watching.